Hello and welcome to Paint the Edges with your host James Mack and James Thayer. For those that didn't listen to the episode where I just absolutely shat all over Riverside for changing things, they've done it again. Right, so whatever. We're like 2 weeks in, or three weeks. Oh, we didn't podcast last week because I was sorting out chaos. So it is. It's the last session that we had with this. They changed things. They've now changed it again. Some things they've taken back to the usual one, and some things they changed. And I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I try to leave because we had a camera glitch. We had a something glitch. Some form of tech. It's an us issue. 100%. We fucked it up somehow. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the software we're using. Definitely messed something up. And I had to leave and come back. And now they've got this leave and end session for all button. That's new. That's why that happened. That's why you got kicked out.
Okay,
if you didn't realize, that's why when I said I'm coming back, and I was like, apologize, because I ended session for everyone instead of just me trying to do the hard reset of this thing.
But at least so far as a happy accident, it seems to have resolved the issue.
Yeah, look, with a few things that I've learned over the last year, when it comes to technology, one, we're fine. Okay, the robots and shit are not taking us over in any shape or form because 9 out of 10 times, with the tech company that I now own, I have come to realize that 9 out of 10 times the way you fix is you turn it on and off. Swear to God. And that is the most frustrating thing in the world. That is how you fix things. Do you know how many times we resolved issues with trailers by telling a user to turn it on and off again? That's it. That's the fix.
Resolution is always going to be either have a plug-in that you can unplug or have an analog on and off. As long as you do that,
I think
we're good.
It's the ability to turn something on or off or hit it with a really hard hammer. Like that's it. That's technology. If you do one of those two things, it will reset itself and it'll work. It's the most frustrating thing in the world because it's stupid. That's not how this should work. I shouldn't have to leave and come back in for suddenly the picture to work. How is that a thing? Dude, again, I'm now higher up. I'm still in Dubai. For those that care and don't care, we now have an apartment in Dubai to a certain degree that literally has, and this will lead into what I want to talk about for a second. It literally has an office desk, which is hilarious, right? So this is the most.
It came with the office desk.
No, it didn't. I bought.
Okay.
So it came. So this is what it came with. Okay?
Like they're all about business in Dubai.
Came with absolutely nothing. I bought on Amazon. I kid you not. All right. So Amazon. It was Amazon Day. I bought an office desk and a chair, a mattress. Please don't judge me, and at the same time, hear me out. Hear me out, and I'll explain why. 6 different pillows. Yes, I have 6 different. So I lie. I have 3 different sets of pillows. So they're 3 different pillows, but there's 6 in total. A set of bed sheets, set of towels, and like a towel and a face cloth things. An air fryer, and a kettle. I got all of that on Amazon delivered amazingly at like 75% off, which was hilarious. Right? I even got people to make the desk and the chair for me because I was not doing that. Anyways, I moved in. That's all that I have. All right, so that's all that I have in this apartment.
The bare essentials.
Dude, I don't need anything more.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't need anything more. The other things, I got a mop. Oh no, I didn't get a mop on Amazon. I got a mop from Kareem. It brought me a mop because they brought me a mop with all my water over there, so I can make sure that I have like a clean house. Because I'm not a slob. I might be living like a bachelor completely, but I'm not a slob. Right? So got a mop, got all this done, sorted from Amazon, made for me. Now here's my thing. All right, so I've been here now 5 days, 4 days, 5 days, five coming up in 5 days. Every night I've changed where the mattress is in my bedroom. All right, now hear me out. Okay, and here, look, to be 100% fair, it is a mattress on the ground. Okay, it's just a mattress on the ground. I'll tell you now, I'm not doing anything more than that. Why I have this theory. I feel like a bed set is a waste of time. Okay, it's a complete waste of time because the mattress, the thing with the mattress is I literally just lift it up and I just clean the mattress every second day. So it's easy to keep it clean, super easy to clean. I don't have to move shit around all the time, right? When and this is my whole point. So have you ever like when you've stayed in apartments and shit before, like have you ever realized like the way you're sleeping or the direction which you're sleeping is different to the way that you sleep generally? Or they're always the same?
It's never the same, but I think I'm more aware of like
Where the
sleeping
door is.
positions.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like
That,
typically for me, it's close, whatever position is closer to the door. That's
yeah.
generally where I'm. Yeah.
So I will sleep the closest to the door in terms of these. However, so I've been playing around with the sleeping positions, like the direction in which my head is in relation to which wall it is. Right. So like, dude, I don't ask me why. I have no idea why. I've been sleeping so terribly in certain positions. And then I found
That's
out for
why.
the last 2 days. Yeah, well, the last 2 days I've slept in like what I've reverse engineered back to be the same direction in which I would sleep generally when I am back home in my home in Australia. And now I've slept fine. So like I'm sitting here going like there has to be something. There's some like black juju or some like mythical creature shit. So if any, I don't know, if any like triple three, triple sixes, people who know like the angel numbers and stuff know how that works, feel free to hit me up with the DM and kind of give me an explanation on this because I can't like I don't know why, but the way in which I was sleeping in all the other times, I slept terribly. I managed to MacGyver and work out. I managed to. Fuck, this is so stupid. All right. I don't have enough time in my hands, but this is what I did. Right. So it was full moon over the last 3 nights or whatever it was, or whenever it fucking was, like Monday, Tuesday, whenever it was. And I managed to work out in relation to where the moon was at 12 o'clock at night, because I was awake at fucking 12 o'clock at night, of where it would be or where the direction in which I would sleep in. I then went on to. If you had to see my AI search, it'd be hilarious. I then went to ChatGPT and it was like, okay, so in full moon, when I'm in Gold Coast, right? If I were to look to the right, where would I see the moon? And then what I did is I reverse engineered from that of where the moon would be, that I then would sleep in the same direction as that. So I could make sure that I was sleeping in the same direction. And it
So
worked.
do we think this is more astrology and crystals or more in relation to like, do you have blackout curtains? That'd be my question because
for night
east
1
and
and
west,
2,
moon rising, or sorry, sun rising and setting, moon rising and setting is the light, the relatable factor in
yeah.
this.
So first 2 nights, and this is why I'm saying excluding the first 2 nights, no curtains in the entire apartment, just nothing. So
Had a hard time sleeping. Don't know why.
So do you know what? Do you know what the most hilarious part about this was? Is I spent maybe 2 minutes looking at this apartment, and I was like, fine, whatever, it is what it is, right? And then I walked back in here, and I was like, where are the curtains? I was like, I swear I saw curtains. I was like, I wonder if these are blackouts. Like, how does this work? And then like the sun went down and then all of the building lights went on and I was like, oh, like I need to get curtains. Like I like shutters or something. Couldn't work out where they were prior, which is also confusing to me because whoever was living here prior did have nothing. Like nothing, because there were no holes anywhere that were patched up. The only place that had just been painted was the kitchen. So I sat here and I was like, was some lunatic sleeping here without any, like doing what I was doing for the first 2 nights of not having. And then, do you know what my immediate thought was? It must just be like a one-way film on the glass, right? So like straight up, I'm walking out the shower. I'm Kolkhat, like completely just naked. Right now, remember we're also in Dubai, which I think like that's not a good idea to be just publicly naked type scenario. All right, so my first night, I'm like, that's probably not a good idea. I go downstairs to like the pool and I look up at my unit to be like, oh, it must be a one-way. It is not a one-way. 100% it is not one-way view. you can see straight in, dead straight in.
Good.
There's no hiding behind it.
Glad you found that out early.
Found that already. So, anyways, got blackout curtains. Fantastic blackout curtains, dude. Installed in. Came and did a quote on like the Tuesday morning, I think it was. Quote, measured, did everything, installed on Wednesday morning. 24-hour turnaround time. Full installation, full done. I'd love to buy the convenience. Dude, it's faster than an Amazon order. That was faster than an Amazon order. Installed blackout curtains. So I've got full blackout curtains now to answer your question. Sorry, there was a long-winded version of answering your question. Full blackout curtains. So the sun and the light and that shit, not part of this. 100%, it is the direction in which you sleep, apparently. That's what I'm going with. That is, until someone proves me otherwise, I'm going with the fact of like, it's a thing. It's 100% a thing. Like there was a time where while I was trying to process this on a Wednesday or Thursday night in the middle of the night, I was maneuvering myself around the bed, being like, yeah, this is the way to sleep. And like working, like, I actually wish that someone was watching, like that there was a camera in the room, like working the side, because I literally was moving around and then moving the entire bed set. So I wasn't getting up. It was like 12 o'clock at night. I wasn't going to move the mattress in the middle of the room. So I just moved myself, which I think is a logical thing to do. I moved myself and just moved.
Way more logical than moving the mattress in the middle of the night. Can you imagine your downstairs neighbor just listening to this mattress turning on the floor?
But you know what the sad thing is? It would be the same downstairs neighbor who had to listen to me at the night before teach rhomboids and traps, because I have to teach at like 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, when I teach 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Do you know every lecture, hands down, every single lecture, I do the gravity trick. I drop the nicotine on the floor. Now, I had about three houses ago. I love how this is how I put this into perspective. 3 houses ago, I had to start doing the gravity trick with the nicotine and catching it because someone complained. And I had the building security at the door being like, sorry, someone has said something about you dropping something on the floor like at 1 a.m. in the morning. So I had to go with this. Now I'm just like, fuck it. What's going to happen? Like, is someone going to try and cut? Like, I'm waiting for someone to complain at 1 a.m. Me talking shit at 1 a.m. in the morning. 1:30 a.m.
I love that it was the nicotine that fired it off. Now, like, hey, this dude's doing an hour-long lecture. Next time you get that, if somebody complains, like, oh no, that's just me. I just fall sometimes.
It's just I just fall over. Yeah.
It's a medical condition.
Oh yeah. So anyway, there's me moving around in this fucking mattress, trying to then. The worst part is, have I ever explained to you like how I set up my pillows? Yo, dude, I am so autistic. So autistic. Have I ever explained to you like how I set up, like how I sleep?
Believe so. But I'm interested to hear now.
All right, so I call it like the V method. Right.
Okay.
So I put usually the harder of the pillows. That's the center one at the back. Dish. So that goes in the center, and then you take 2 of the slightly soft ones and you make like the triangle, the V. Right. So essentially, if I were to like lie on it, like I could just lie like this, and I could sleep on my back, and like it supports me, cradles me. All right. But at the same time, what I could do is when I turn over, I immediately can put my arm under it, but I'm still being supported by the other side of the V from the back. And then I can turn. So I never have to move with the pillow. I move to the new pillow. You get what I'm saying?
I understand the strategy and can appreciate that. What that also describes to me is a middle sleeper of the bed, just sprawled out.
Just kidding. Oh. So, hence, remember I told you I got 6 pillows? So I got 6 pillows because I had to work out which, because I didn't know. Look, let's be honest. Having the correct pillow matters. And it's not like postural and shit. I don't really give a fuck about that. Like you're sleeping, and kind of, but not really. But having the correct pillow matters, in my 100% in my opinion, because it does make or break a sleep. Now, when you're purchasing pillows off Amazon, it's a little bit hard to know what you buy. Right, so I bought three different brands of.
So you didn't even stick with. Explain to me the thought process behind 3 different brands. Was the ultimate goal of this is I'm going to buy 3 separate brands and then find the brand I like? Or because in the arrangement where my mind goes is we have the harder ones and then it kind of tiers down. But then wouldn't we want the same brand of what they're soft, medium, firm?
So you're on, no. So remember, you're on point here because there's 3 different brands. So there were 6 pillows in total, but 2 of each one. So essentially, I got the harder one that would be the back support pillow, and then I had 2 other options that could then be the 2 of the V. Right? Completely fucked that up, and they were all really hard. Like really,
you went separate brands.
Yo, dude, they were terrible. They are terrible.
Yeah,
not were. Dude, they're like memory
definition of soft to firm is going to be different.
It's completely different. So they're all memory foam. It honestly feels like, think like Ryder or like Riker, like in terms of like the dog. Dude, it's as solid as a fucking dog.
Oh,
it's a man. Like, they are so solid. You know, like a pillow after, like they decomp. Nope, not even close. Like I lay on it and it lifted my head like this. That's actually like I was lying there and I was like, this is probably not going to be a really good sleep.
Whenever it's like, I'm going to feel worse sleeping with this pillow than not having a pillow.
It's like, so in my adventures of turning this shit around, I got rid of the pillow completely. And I took my duvet and I scrunched the duvet up into a ball and I used the duvet as the pillow. That was more comfortable for me sleeping. So I I scrunched the one corner of the duvet like up so much to create this pillow, and there was just enough that I could just put it on my torso in the middle of the night when I got a little bit cold. I don't get cold at all. Like I can sleep without. Usually I sleep without anything. Like sometimes a sheet is too hot for me, and I literally just had enough that I could just put it in, and occasionally I would just open it. literally how my nights have been. And that was me scooting around in the middle of the night trying to find the right direction in which I can sleep at, which I've now figured out because I've consistently got over the last 2 nights. So I've moved the mattress to be in the direction that I needed it to be.
So my real question now is, with you taking and assessing this information and having doing your trials and errors, does this now become a trackable feature for your clients with them traveling for shows in determining are you sleeping in the right direction?
No, there's absolutely nothing of this that is applicable to anyone other than this is like, if I was being admitted to the asylum, this is what gets written down in the patient report form. This. 100%. Like, why did he go crazy and shoot up 300 people? There were the signs. The signs were there in terms of this. Now, I'm making a joke. I know we're on YouTube. I'm making a joke. Don't fucking come at me.
Yeah. See, if you really wanted to have fun with it, it'd be like you would deep dive. Oh, there we go. Perfect. We talked about it in a previous episode, but how 3 Foot World is focused cognitive for the sleep one. You can also associate that with the 6 pillow method. See, the selling point is there.
Yo, it is there. Really. Yeah, 100%. The 6 pillow method. So yeah, that's just trademark the 6 pillow method. 6 feet under with 6 pillows. Honestly, that's my life right now. Trying to work all that. Oh, I got an air purifier as well. Yeah, sorry, that was one that I did put in. That I thought was a pretty big thing. Like you'd be surprised. No, like that's a health thing, like a big health thing.
Yeah, I would have
the mold and toxicity and shit from the air cons.
Yeah, and I mean, just the the frequency at which those have to be used, and with it being more of a desert region.
I mean, yeah, look, it's been hot as Satan's arsehole here. Dude, it's like 42 degrees. Like cooking lately. I mean, it is the middle of summer. Like it has just started going that. So
yeah, finding those.
Been a fun
Has
time.
your schedule had to change around that? Because from my understanding, there's a period of time where you can't be outside.
Yeah, look, it's not just like it can't be outside. It's like it probably shouldn't. So, I mean, probably shouldn't. Look, it's actually like fair credit to Dubai in terms of what they do. So now that I think as of the 20th of June or something like that, they created like the no workers outside. Like, God, fucking, I don't know how they do it. I'll be 100%, like all the construction workers and shit. So from 12 till 3:30 or 12:30 till 3, like no one's allowed to be outside working. Like they have to be indoors. Like that's like their break. I was like, it's 42 health and safety degrees. Wise. Yeah. Do you know what the hilarious? Like, and I say this respectfully, there are some things here that I've seen in terms of like health and safety that I'm like, what the fuck? Like that can't be good in any shape or form. Like, and that's allowed. And then they do this, and I'm like, yeah, respectable, because that one makes logical sense. Some of the others, I'm like, I watched. So my building right now, there's a building across the way being like maybe whatever 2 blocks away that I can see being refurbished or whatever it is. And I kid you not, on a daily basis, I see things fall from the building. What? I don't know what. Like there was a day when something fell from it, and I was like, is that a person? Like, and the only way that I couldn't tell that it wasn't a person is that what hit the ground wasn't big enough of a splash. That was the only way, because I was like, that's weird. Anyway, so shit falls from this building every single day. And there's just like people walking around underneath, and it's just like, we carry on. And then you have the like, don't be outside between 12 and 3 thing, and you're like, yeah, that one makes logical sense. The logical sense would be like, hey, let's not let shit fall from the building and hit someone on the head, kind of a block away from me. Anyways, but so my schedule has changed slightly, but also, to be honest, my schedule's changed completely here. My Monday nights, my Monday from 12 a.m., so technically Tuesday morning, till Wednesday night is a complete clusterfuck. So I go to bed, I get 3 to 4 hours of sleep on Monday. I go to bed at like 7, 8-ish, and I wake up at 12. And I teach and I do all my calls from 12 till 8 a.m. And then I have my entire day, and then I get 2 to 3 hours of sleep, and then I do the same thing again from 12 till 6, and then again from 7 till 10. And then I have an entire day, and then I go to sleep, and then it's Thursday. Anywhere between Monday and Thursday, I have no idea what is going on in my life, because it's a blur. There's 4 hours of sleep, and it makes no sense in my brain. So in that time, that's my schedule. So to answer your question, yeah, my schedule has changed. How, I don't really know, because I'm not present in any scenario other than in those time periods. But I'm generally awake and walking and doing weird shit in the weird hours of the day anyways. So like it's between 6 and 8 a.m. It's between 30 and 36 degrees anyways when you wake up. So I've kind of just like acclimatized. Like today was, I don't know, it was 11 o'clock and I was walking outside. It was like 40-ish degrees. And I was like, this is kind of hot. And then I was fine for about 30 minutes, and then I just started sweating profusely, which is disgusting. But that's it. So, sorry, to answer your question, yes, my schedule has changed in terms of like, I don't walk in the middle of the day. That's it. I do all of my activity in the morning. I get between 8 and 10,000 steps in the morning as fast as I can. And then if I'm doing afternoon things, stuff like that, I actually plan on doing it in malls, or a lot of the structures have got aircon and stuff in them, which is it's an interesting challenge to navigate. I will be honest. I can understand why people become. So there's a very interesting fact about Dubai. When I was driving around a lot of the time, I kept seeing diabetes clinics. Huge influx, and like from a disease management standpoint of diabetes here. Massive amounts of diabetes. So it comes down to two things. One, obviously lifestyle in relation to the heat. So obviously our activity levels quite significantly lower because of the heat and literally having to be more indoors. We see them being slightly less active, but has a very big fitness community, which was like a very interesting demographic kind of disassociation between the two. Obviously, that being a lot of the expats kind of being in that route. And then the second one from that is obviously cultural dietary issues or cultural dietary kind of trends in terms of that. Obviously, depending on the economic kind of climate and where you're at, higher grains, higher carbohydrates, higher kind of fat in terms of that. So we do see a disproportionate amount of type 1 to type 2 diabetes sufferers within the country. Super interesting. Super interesting for me. So as I said, I mentioned it or noticed it significantly in terms of the diabetes clinics everywhere. Every pharmacy, so there's a pharmacy on every block, like a small pharmacy on every block. It's crazy. Every pharmacy sells glucose monitors, BP cuffs, temperatures or thermometers. Sorry, temperatures. Fuck, stupid. Thermometers. Yeah, all of your kind of like your metric-based devices, every pharmacy will have. It's insane, which is like foreign to us. In like, if you had to think about it, if you walked into a pharmacy, would they be stocking every single one of those? Like, and that might sound stupid. Yeah, they may be, but not to this extent. Like an entire shelf wall filled with different like Omron, different brands, everything. I was just like, this is insane to me.
Yeah, the frequency at which you're seeing it. The other interesting thing is because, again, to my understanding, there's not as many restrictions on what's available. So some of the like longevity, health conscious is a lot more available in Dubai. So that might also be an aspect to it. Is yes, there is going to be the community that does have the health issues, which is why it's so prevalent in those spaces. But also, I would imagine there is some carryover of just in general because of the availability of procedures of peptide stem cells that are available, that there is a lot more consciousness to health, to longevity. So I wonder if that has an influence as well.
I mean, it could. Take it one level lower than that. I mean, your basic diabetes-based medication you purchase over the counter. So like glucophage, metformin, anything like that, no script required. You can buy straight over the counter. No, like I can walk up and just purchase and buy insulin, rapid insulin, buy over the counter. Like Lantus or like a long-base insulin. Like some Walmart, some states you can do that over in the US. Yeah, I could just walk in and be like, hey, can I have 5 pens of rapid insulin? They're like, sure. Here's your voucher for 10% off on your next purchase. I was like, what?
Yeah, which is insane because, I mean, crazy. Like, especially in the States where if you're diagnosed and you have good insurance, it can be affordable. But if you don't have that, we're talking about thousands of dollars potentially.
I mean, look, I don't remember I priced it because I was super fascinated with all this. Priced the meds, even like blood pressure medication. Like I take telmisartan all the time. I prescribe telmisartan. Just purchase over the counter. No issues. No, like straight up off the counter, beta 2 stimulants, my asthma medication. So I'm on specific or very kind of unique asthma medication from, I think I've explained this to you. I have eosinophil based asthma. So where my eosinophil count increases and I then have an inflammatory response in terms of the lining on the lung. So on the outside lining of the lung. So what lands up happening is I have this inflammation that increases that then I can't take a full breath because my lung and the outside wall, there's an inflammatory based response in between the two, so my lung can't fully expand. So I have to take like a specific medication in terms of this. Now, obviously, I didn't plan on being fucking here for kind of as long as I have, and I was I ran out of it maybe 3 weeks ago, and I was a bit concerned. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, how am I going to get a script? Dude, I walked into the chemist and I was like, do you have these two? And she was like, yeah, sure. How many do you want? I was like, 2 boxes? Like, what's it? Wild phenomenon for me, which again, like rare, and you mentioned it, and it's an interesting thing when we start looking into it, and we don't want to get conspiracy theory on this in any shape or form. The price of the medication, the 2 boxes, plus a Ventolin inhaler, plus a Symbicort inhaler, because I need kind of all of them, cost me half the price of one of these inhalers in Australia, and I have private medical insurance in Australia. Insane when you think about it from that standpoint. So it cost me, I have almost double the amount of medication for half the price of what it costs me in Australia. It's wild. Absolutely wild when you think about it.
And with that, there's a lot of factors that go into the pricing, and even in that market, how it begins to change and whatnot that we don't necessarily need to dive into, but just the thought process of a lot of these prescription-based drugs being over the counter, and then as far as almost personal responsibility in knowing what you need or knowing what you're taking, and
literally just like, so what dose do you want? I was like, the high one. I was like, can you show me the color of the box? Like it sounds really stupid. I know the colors. I literally know the colors in terms of like Symbicort, the 320 that I'm on. We've had this fight. Do you remember this podcast on this fight that I had with the doctor in Australia, where they tried to put me on the 180? Do you remember this?
Yes.
Was it 180? Yes. They tried to put me on. So my dose is 320, right? And they tried to give me, so 320 doesn't exist in Australia. You get 180 or 240, but they can't prescribe me 240, and like they can't prescribe me 240, and I couldn't take 180 because then I would have to take 2 of the 180, which was then more than my dose of my 320, hence logical kind of how that works. It was more than my dose, but then they couldn't give me 2 of them because then I would be doing more than what I require within the month. So I literally stood there and I was like, so how do you want me to take my dose of my medication that I'm supposed to take? And everyone kind of just like looked at me like I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to take 320, whatever, I use milligrams, whatever it is, twice a day. You only have 180 or 240. How do you want me to make this work? And I remember the guy was like, well, take 2 of take 2 of the 180, but I can only give you 1 of these a month. So I was like, so I'm going to, not breathe for half a month? Like, how do you want me to do this, bud? And he just was like, no, this was when I swore, and then I got in trouble for swearing in the doctor's office, apparently. But yes, dude, insane when you think about it. And now I just walked in, and they were just like, which one do you need? And I was like, it's the blue one. And she's like, the 320? And I was like, yes.
We got the blue one.
That was it. Insane when you think about it. But yeah, just like the Wild West, but also not irresponsible, and this is kind of like the concept that I find super interesting is, if we had let's say like a free for all, and at the end of the day, it's not a free for all, it's how much money you have to purchase the substance. Let's put it that way. At the end of the day, if you have the money, you can purchase the substance. But it's a free for all here in terms of like how you dose things. Imagine if that was in the US, like what would happen?
It'd be a disaster.
It would be a disaster. My question is why? Like, what do you think the difference is? Like, where does I want to use the word humble. Maybe that's not the right word. But there's almost like this humble approach to it. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, I'll take this responsibly instead of not.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, off of that, what I would say is personal responsibility, but it also opens up the conversation of to that, what's being allowed over the counter. Is that just kind of a blanket limitation on prescription that also there's some dictation with the market that is restricting it based on how price can be augmented or manipulated, opposed to like it won't necessarily, like the risk or the harm is lesser because why I bring that up, it's not necessarily like opiates, at least to my knowledge. Opiates are not over the counter.
As far as I know, not.
You know, in that, then it's like, okay, it's like there's personal responsibility. We trust you to take this. Like, how far out does that expand? Because I'm thinking just here in the States over the counter, like you can get levels of allergy medications. You can get what you discovered whenever you were here, NyQuil. You know, things like it's an over the counter. There is an age restriction on purchasing it, but it's taking that similar mindset and just expanding it to a broader allotment of medications. So but it's a mindset that we can already see, though. It's just.
So I hate to be the conspiracy theorist in this, but here's my theory behind this. As soon as a medication becomes a prescriptive medication, there's more money involved.
Absolutely. So honestly, though, I don't think that's conspiracy. I think that's just fact.
Well, I mean, I don't know what I legally can't say being in this country. I have no idea. So, anyways, we'll figure it out. But you know, I kind of like what I think happens now. You know, like glucophage or metformin. Like metformin is a prescriptive medication in most of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but that means that there's a higher amount. Like if you go and even when it is prescriptive, like you pay more for it. Like, dude, I take this because I can remember it straight off the top of my head. My telmisartan is like $12 here for a month. It's like $12 or $13. I think back home I was paying close to like $100. Like that's insane. One's prescriptive and one's over the counter in terms of that medication. And you sit there and you're like, what the fuck? Like how is that not just pure greed within the continuity of what's going on? How much markup is being had? Because that pharmacy that I just bought for $12 for is still making a markup. So if I'm paying $100 back home, and it's the same brand, it's the same box. It's not, you can't turn around and be like, oh, one's a different man. It's the same thing, exact same thing to the T. So where is that? How is that going? It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, and it's to that again without getting super conspiracy, but it's industries it's industries holding up industries, because like I'll use university as an example, that everyone employed by the university of full-time and I think even part-time to some degree get like some benefits, but let's just say full-time. Yep. Full-time, everybody has benefits. They have insurance through one of the major, like Blue Cross Blue Shield in the States is one of the major insurance companies. So everyone has to pay into that. It's not optional. You can pick your, like there's different plans, but so with that, you have a full benefit faculty and staff of $7,000 of 7,000 people that have to pay into that. So it's kind of propagating in this cyclical nature of we're paying into insurance. Insurance is paying for these medications, but these medications also, depending on the demand, depending on the prescriptions, will fluctuate in their price points. And we also, like even that though, of where the barrier is supposed to be the prescription that gives access to people that need it. That's, I think we've also have seen it challenged and some used in a way that maybe aren't always for
GLP-1s.
Yes.
GLP-1s comes to
That's exactly where I was going.
Where you're going. It's like we've got Ozempics and we've got the GLP-1 medications being utilized for off script as it would be kind of labeled in terms of this. We've got doctors prescribing Ozempic for anti-inflammatory based properties. It's like, hold on, guys. Like I understand you can legally, according to how you've been qualified, you can do off-script means and measures, but like, we're starting to like toe the line a little bit with a lot of the things that we do here.
Well, especially whenever the end result that you can see is a diabetic population that no longer has access to that medication because the amount of individuals getting it prescribed for off-label usage.
Yeah, the supply and demand aspect of it becomes interesting off the back end, and then the worst case behind this, like you said, so you're on X plan, you'll have access to X, Y, and Z medication, but you're still going to pay in. Remember, that's not free.
Exactly.
And we saw this. My perfect example of this is back in South Africa with my hips. So like I had private medical aid or private cover in terms of these things. And then on top of that, I used to have what was called gap cover. That would then, I would pay an extra amount on my medical aid that would then be like a second medical aid on top of this that would then cover the shortfall that the medical aid didn't have. So we'd have a national rate of what doctors and or medication would be, and every doctor or medication that was or potters would never charge that amount. So it would be, so for lack of a better word, we'd have 100%, we'd have 200%, and then we'd have 300%. So like all of my surgeons, because they were at the skill level that they were and they could charge essentially whatever they wanted to, would charge 300%. My medical aid covered 100%. So I had a 200% that I had to cover myself. My gap cover covered 100%. So I had to out of pocket cover. Dude, insane.
Yeah,
insane. When you're like, what what do you mean? So like I literally covered, and I worked this out over all of my surgical history of my hips, not including the Australia one. I spent something like 1.5 million rand out of my own pocket, which is it is a lot of money. Like, it's not a lot when you divide by 13 and 16 in the rest of the world, like, yeah, cool. But like we're still talking about, close to $100,000, over $100,000 just for me to get the medical treatment that I required, that I was paying in on top of the monthly amount that I was paying to these two different places, which is insane when you think about it.
Yeah, it's one of those where it makes less sense the deeper you look into it. If you actually start going through, the same thing with your surgery, though. You start going through this, it's like, why is the medication that I can get for $13 at the pharmacy marked up to $50 here in the hospital? Whenever I got 2 pills, the 13 gives me a month's supply.
Yep.
Math isn't math. Why am I getting charged $30 for your hospital meal that I didn't want?
No, it'll make you want to jump off a building and have a look at it. When you do like an itemized billing, I remember doing my itemized billing, and like I got charged for a box of gloves, and I was like, sorry, what?
I didn't use them. Yeah.
It's like, when did I use a box of gloves? No, the nurses use. I was like, so you can guarantee, like, where's my box? Where's the box that says James McIntosh on it? Yeah,
can you line item happens. Those gloves for me? Last I checked, there was 50 in that box, and this surgery, like maybe a change out. Like, I'll give you 3 changes out for the 6 people that were in the room. I'll give each of you.
Look, we can go down a rabbit hole here, and just like this whole podcast will just get completely canceled real quick. Oh, anyways, look, we made it this far in terms of whatever's going on. Don't listen to us over the past 10 minutes of talking this shit. But yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, there's no takeaway from this other than it's interesting just to be immersed into different cultures and different countries and look at little things like that, which kind of, it's a perspective shift. It always creates perspective. And I think that is a key thing that I try and take away with anything that I do, any place I go to, any opportunity that I have in terms of that. It just adds to my perspective brain that I have there. It's like, I have that saying of it could be worse. And it's generally that of a perspective shift or perspective change of like, hey, like, I don't want to do the whole like be grateful thing, but be grateful. You never know what could or couldn't be kind of on the other side of things.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to kind of cap off this is the perspective. And, if from this, you go ahead and start looking into it. It's more so just a consideration and an awareness of this is what it is. And do you have more or less available options where you're listening from?
100%. And also look into the whole change your mattress thing, because I think change the direction.
Let us know if it
there's
works
something behind it. There's something behind it. Yeah, guys. Anyways, on that note, fucking completely useless, but I hope you got something enjoyable off the back end of that. We will chat to you next week with something educational for sure.